Before we get into tactics, Mark, obviously coming off such an amazing campaign in the Champions League, was it important to keep that momentum going tonight?
Oh, look, vital for us, I think. You know, the Champions League was good, but to be able to come here now for the big stuff in the domestic season, important. We got off to a good start, and tonight's given us that. So yeah, pretty happy with that.
Satisfied with the performance?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty polished performance. You know, our first phase of batting, we're probably a few more wickets down than we would have liked to have been, probably, ideally. We fought back pretty well. Good partnerships towards the end, I thought, got us to that 230 score, which was invaluable. Cameron Borges, I thought, played really well there at the back end. Graham Manu and Aaron O'Brien chipped in nicely too. So 230 was, I thought, a pretty competitive score. And outfield was reasonably slow tonight, I thought too. So that made a pretty good competitive total.
Putt's got the man of the match, probably quite rightly as well. He was consistent all through the night. But you're right, Aaron O'Brien's innings, that was a real cameo that seemed to just turn the game in your favour.
It was perfect timing for us. I mean, we've talked about having a platform and then launching at the end, and we didn't. We probably did that to an extent, and that sort of extra 40 or 50 runs that we got there was crucial in the game, in the finish. So Gary's execution, though, of his slower balls and things tonight was outstanding, and just a good follow-up from his Champions League learning, I think, as well.
Ben Edmondson, very sharp as well, very impressive in his debut.
Yeah, look, Ben's been preparing really hard back here the whole time, and you know, wasn't obviously involved in our campaign, having come from another state last year, but he's been preparing hard for this, and it showed tonight that he's done a lot of hard work, physically and with his skills, and good to see him get a good return as well.
What did you think of the format?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think if you win, it's a good format. So, no, look, I think it's quite good. It certainly tests you out a bit more, I think, in terms of thinking about some strategies and thinking on your feet a bit. I'm sure the players have certainly felt that. And probably the breaks in it as well, you know, change the momentum of the game. So, got to be on your toes with that.
What about the idea of less overs but allowing bowlers to bowl 12 overs? Does that change one-day cricket a bit?
Probably changes a little bit. I mean, in theory, you can go in with 4 bowlers, I suppose, which is probably a bit different. May have an impact on perhaps spinners and all-rounders down track. I don't know, but I think the way our side's balanced, we've got quite a few options in there that we can use, so we're pretty happy with that. It works well.
Do you change your approach after you got to about the 17 over mark? You lost 3 wickets. Do you now sort of go, well, let's bat out to 20, or how do you sort of approach that first?
Well, I think you're always looking to keep scoring. I suppose that's the important thing. But you don't want to lose too many wickets, I guess, in that first phase, because that can really blow your game apart. So we were conscious of that, and to be 4 down was probably less than ideal. The total was fine. We sort of thought around the 100 mark in 20 overs is probably what you're targeting. But 4 down, 3 would be the max you want to have, I reckon, in that situation.
Do you take anything from this into the Shield game next week?
It's often talked about that. I think you can take a certain amount of confidence in when you play good cricket, but we're playing a totally different format. So back to a red ball, back to 6 hours in the day and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, you can take some confidence from playing some fairly professional cricket, but it's a totally different game. So we've got to be on our toes again come Monday.
Were you confident the boys will be able to switch back into the 4-day mode after? Lots of 2020 and lots of one day?
Yeah, I'm reasonably confident. I mean, they're pretty good at doing it. There's no doubt, I think it's going to be a long day for them. 6 hours compared to 20 overs. I'm sure they probably felt the difference even tonight, being in a 45 over day or 90 over day. So I think 4 days of 6 hours a day is going to sort of test them out a little bit. So they'll be pretty tight, I reckon, at night.
Have you named the changes for Monday?
We haven't released it yet. We'll release it a bit later on. But yeah, there's a couple of changes, obviously, to the side for the Shield game.
Slightly unrelated, but the dirty great shadow out here, you can't see quite so well at ground level, but at an elevated level, it actually is quite a pronounced shadow.
Noticeable, yeah.
Have you had any feedback? Or
No, we haven't spoken about it yet. We haven't spoken about it, so I haven't heard anything from the guys as of yet how they felt out there like that. But look, it may be something to think about. I guess with the different height of this, it's probably going to cause maybe different lighting. I don't know. Interesting to see. Haven't heard anything from the boys. We'll wait and see what they say.